Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the game of chess. Today I have a special one for you. Today I was done with the game. I analyzed it. I had a 93.3% accuracy. I kind of smoked my opponent, but he did put up a good fight and I won the game. To tactics, I did make one mistake which made me a little unhappy, and I was gonna leave it there. But two games below that, there was a game that I won against the guy in 10 moves. And in his username, he had the red barrier emoji, which if you tap on it, it will take you to the fair play violation page, which means that the guy that had this emoji on him cheated. This is a fascinating story of a cheater who created his account on May 31st, 2025, 11 days after this video is uploaded to YouTube. This guy had an interesting background. Cheaters come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them just play the top engine moves every 2 seconds. Some of them just play like bad moves at the beginning of the opening to just throw the cap score accuracy off and everything in between. People that lose on time because they take too much time to just, copy the moves to their original chessboard and to their engine and everything in between. And this cheater was no different. He had massive win streaks and lost a couple of games to throw chess.com off and say, hey, I'm not always playing the best games. I also lose because I'm quote-unquote human. Well, I will show you this cheater in greater depth, and I also will show you a game that I played against him. Of course, he sent me like 6 game request rematches. I did not accept any of them, a good thing I did not. I will show you some of his games, and the first game that he played against a 12 or 13, 1400, I forgot the rating, and also his last game before he got caught by chess.com, and of course banned for cheating. So, without further ado, enjoy the video, and you can solve this chess puzzle I put up on the screen for like 2 minutes straight, and also check out the description. There's the Discord server link, and also the Sicilian starter kit. You can check them out, start playing chess today. And I think that's all. I don't think I have any other sponsors. Also, hi, Elo Lika Championships are also starting very soon. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's get on to this exposing of this cheater. Okay, so this is the first game the cheater played on the site. Account, again, was created on the 31st of May, literally a couple days after I have recorded this, so the cheater begins a conquest against the 1400 with the move c5. So, first game they play the Sicilian defense. And they don't play in the Sicilian defense, they play something that looks like a dragon, kind of. The d6, knight c6 setups. This is, I don't know if that's a dragon, I think that's one of those knight c6 setups after d6. And we have knight g5. I mean, the opponent, don't take those random knight journeys because the cyborgs are going to immediately punish you for playing like this. White is trying to pull the, oh no, my knight trick card, but against the cyborg, that will just not work. And now white here goes completely bananas. Knight takes, king takes, and then queen f3 check, thinking they have some sort of attack. They do not, just knight f6. Castles, bishop e7 defends the knight, and prepares a castle by hand. c3, rook f8, queen g3, king g8. And it looks like black is under significant pressure here, but after black spent a convincing 4 seconds on the following move, if I was black here, I would, with no doubt, play the move rook f7, defends everything, and you prevent the further loss of material. But black plays knight to h5 after spending 4 seconds. And the point of knight h5 is after queen g6, thinking that white has like some sort of attack here going, black plays rook f6, sacrificing the knight because you get it back immediately. And now the queen has to go back. And now you get to play the move knight to e5, punishing the opponent and claiming the bishop pair. But for some reason, white sacrifices the bishop for the pawn, but then forgets that the rook defends the bishop. And now we have resignation because white had enough. So that's the first game. You could make the argument that I was probably just a lucky find and they did not just spend like 8 seconds on this 2-move combination. Yeah, let's go to the next game. Next game. This is against the 1200. So the cheater is gonna probably barbarically kill this 1200 on the chessboard, of course. Knight f3, c5. Sicilian invitation, we have e4 and knight c6. These are the old Sicilian variations, which can lead to different positions. We have d4, takes, and e6. This is called the Taimanov Sicilian. In fact, this is a transposition. Another way to get into the Taimanov Sicilian is to play e6, d4, takes, and now here, this is a transposition. This is the normal Taimanov, the other one is a transposition, but it's fine, knight c3. And by the way, I have to point out that the cheater, who's like 1400, because, you know, they dropped quite a bit of elo because they had to lose 2 games, so Chess.com doesn't immediately detect them brutally destroying 1400s in like the span of 20 moves. And they went like 1300, 1400, and now they're playing every move with 5 seconds, and they're playing perfect Sicilian theory at a level where you can literally shit your pants. Bishop to e3. Bishop g7, so we could say that black is playing some sort of dragon Taimanov Sicilian here. I will have to get rid of the Discord not-ifs. I apologize. Bishop c4, okay, normal moves, nothing out of the ordinary. d5, and now already +2. Like I've said, it's better to not trust the engine in the Sicilian position as white. Sometimes it does say like +1, +1.2 for no reason. In this case, +2 is justified because after takes, well, there's a free pawn. That's, I mean, white has a clear pawn advantage. Knight takes d4. Taking stuff because we can. And I have another trade, and queen to f6. Now, if I was white here, I would either take the queens and just go into this endgame. That's, in fact, the top engine move. Actually, the second top engine, but the move that chooses, the cheater chooses, which is the second line, is queen to c4. I don't know what queen c4 does. In fact, it allows this check, which means you just have to go back again. I don't get it. But we have knight e7. Now, obviously, black is terrified here because the cheater is playing some alien moves. And now we have long castles, not knight to e4, which makes sense. You give up the pawn for like counterplay on the king. It makes a lot more sense because, you know, the moves are there. Maybe not for 1200, maybe for like 1800, 1900 makes sense, but like not for this level. In this level, it's better to just you know, castle short side and, you know, just have this game. Long side, though, is a huge imbalance in the position because now there's going to be attacks at one another. And attacks you're going to have because now, for some reason, black takes the bishop, white takes back. And blacks thinks they have successfully won their pawn back. They're not wrong, but they're completely losing. It's +25 because of knight to c7 check. Forks the king and the rook. In fact, the better move here, according to Stockfish, is queen to b4, which runs 2 different checkmates. You can't stop all of them. You have to sack your queen. It's actually made in 16, but instead we have knight to c7 check. This is like the second, third line of the engine probably. The king goes to e7, and you don't take the rook here, which I would do in a speed game, but instead you give another check, and you force black to go to the only safe square, which pins the queen. You win the queen, and you win the rook, and a couple moves later, black succumbed to the machine and got checkmated. You could again make the argument that white got lucky, but considering they play every single move between 5 to 6 seconds, yeah. But you could still make the argument. Let's go to the next game. For the next game, this is against the 1100, so there's a huge elo range right here. Another Sicilian, like 1300 playing the Sicilian, knight f3 d6 and bishop c4. This is a Baudelaire, pretty much. This is not much different to Baudelaire. You might as well switch it up to a Khan Sicilian with like a6 or e6. Knight to c6, I guess still sticking to the good old guns of something that looks like a dragon, or I don't know, God knows what. D3, knight to f6, and knight to g5. Stop taking these random knight journeys on a Sicilian in a situation like this. Because let me tell you right now, the move e6 just completely stops your entire everything. There's like nothing here, so stop. There's nothing. Knight to c3, and bishop to e7, knight f3. I mean, might as well play f4 while you're at it. You know, take some more space. But fine. Knight f3, castles, castles, a6, and most likely intending the move b5. Rook to e1 directly just goes to the move b5, and the cheater does play the move b5. Bishop to b3 and bishop to b7. a4 and b4. The knight goes back, and rook e8. I mean, not locking up the structure here, whatever, fine. Rook e8. Now have the move d4, which just confidently hangs a pawn. But we don't immediately take the pawn, so we take, and now we go here, here. This move would have just guarded the pawn, but I mean this, and now not even taking the pawn. I mean, I don't know what this does. Don't ask me. Drops advantage significantly quite a bit. So probably the cheater wasn't playing the best moves, or probably wasn't playing every single best move every single game. They were probably throwing on purpose. Bishop to e3. Now the queen goes here, and the pawn is just hung, and officially the cheater takes it and is up a pawn. f3, very natural move, and the knight goes here, trying to take the bishop pair. And white does this. I don't know what this does. It's the top engine move. I guess you're trying to instigate on the pawn, try isolate the queen's pawn. I don't know. We have knight takes, and pawn takes, rook takes, attacking the queen. And now we have this. And the cheater blunders. This move is very strong because your only choices are these two squares. And if you go here, you just get hit with another discovery, and apparently the engine is telling you to sack your queen here, which is nuts. And the other one, which also hits you with another discovery, and then you can just go back here if you want, and then hit him again with another one of these. Oh, wait, never mind. Not like that. Maybe like that. And then here, and go here, and just fork the rooks. Obviously, the 1100 will not spot that with like 2 minutes on the clock, and instead plays this. And now the cheater has the advantage back again. So they go here. Slides all the way there, hangs the rook because that was a skewer. Here takes, and now the cheater just, takes this, and, white resigned, they had enough. And if you try to play this, then you just play this, doesn't matter. And you think that black is just on the ropes, but he's not. You just sack the pawn here, and then we just defend everything, you're fine. That was this game. Let's go to the next one. And now we've officially reached our timeline. Now the cheater is 1600, and I'm also 1600. Why am I 1600, you may ask? That's a good question, because I tilted from 1800, 135 points. And now I'm all the way back to 1679. I'm struggling to get out of it, because for some reason, chess.com is pairing me with very good 1600s, and I don't know why that happens. Cheaters, smurfs, tryhards, maybe even good players, and everything in between. I'll slowly get my way out of there eventually, but I don't really care about chess.com Elo anymore. I just want to have a good game. And in the future, I'll be caring about my FIDE ID Elo, which is more important. I don't have one yet, because I'm not in chess club. In the future, I will, which is in September. Anyway, we have a Grunfeld, and there's this King's Indian. Now it's this Grunfeld. If you play this, then it's the King's Indian. Okay, so the Grunfeld is a hypermodern opening. It depends on efficient piece placings. You give like white a large center, you just crack at it and try to break it apart. Bishop to f4 is the brickman attack. I play bishop g7. Knight f3 back to the Hungarian attack, which is also common. We have c5. This is to try and instigate on the center. The c5 is a must-play move on the Grunfeld, because you're trying to free up the diagonal. Takes, queen here, and takes the spawn. There's a well-known trap here. Not with this move. This move is the trap. I don't know why I played knight to e4. Maybe I was scared of the queen. But if they take, then you take like this, and then you have to go back, and then you take, and you take the spawn, and you've essentially destroyed white center a little bit, and you argue that you've achieved what you wanted, and you get kicked out a couple times. You don't care that you get kicked out a couple times. You could make the argument that even this move is not good. Then you just go here. It's just kind of highly theoretical, and I just decided to mix up the theory for some reason. We have queen a4 check. White thinks that they can get out using this move, and after this move and we trap the knight literally has nowhere to go. What do you do here? Good question. The best move is rook to c1. Why? Takes, and this is a fork, but the engine argues that knight takes the pawn, and this. I know it's just +2 right now. It's gonna come to its senses in a little bit. What? Oh wait, never mind. I messed up. After this and then this, it says +1. It's gonna come to its senses in a little bit. I messed up the move order there. I apologize. A little bit of a blooper. It's 0.7. Why? Because you don't care that you're gonna lose this pawn. Because at the end of the day, you got this checks, and you can even trade your Grunfeld bishop, a castle, and even if they attack your bishop, you don't care. Oh, I'm sorry. Explorer, get out of the way. You don't care because if they take this, that's checkmate, so they have to just get out of the way. And now you defend your thing. And if they go, if they just keep developing, for example, well, you've got this move, first of all. And if they go here, you got this move anyway, and you're winning a piece. So the only move, apparently, in this position is to go all the way back with the rook. And then you go here, you get into the position. And after they play like a knight reroute to, just instigate on their pawn advantage, you got the move rook to c2, which just puts pressure here. And if they defend, then you just double up and you threaten something here. If they go here, then you just bring the other rook, threaten, take here, castles, and then you have to lose this pawn here. And then the position is very balanced. That's the Grunfeld for you. But he doesn't find the correct move. Or she doesn't find the correct move. Bishop takes knight is just utterly ridiculous. It's not even a top engine move for a reason. In this position, I actually considered bishop takes a4, but it's bad because they survive with the bishop pair and you don't have any more long-term pressure. But by taking the bishop, the knight is still trapped, and the only move again is rook to c1. And then I will have to play rook to c8. Here, takes, and then they would have to, if they take again, then of course you just bring up the rook. Takes, and then I would have to go here to give support to the knight. And if I take again, takes, here, and here we attack the knight, counterattack, and here, takes, you can get another pawn. And apparently this position is just better for black, justified indeed, because I have the bishop pair, and, I'm just dominating. The position's so open. I have the 4-point bishop on the diagonal, can support the pass pawn. And after bishop takes b8 and rook takes b8 and rook c1, actually no, bishop takes b8 and here the cheater resigned. This one was my hypothetical move. Here the cheater resigned, and yeah, the cheater resigned here. And I won. I just convincingly won. I thought, okay, my opponent just fell for the simple opening trap where you just win a piece. Or a rook even. So I took that victory, and I thought I'd just play normal cheater. Normal player. I apologize. Little did I know. Let's go to the next game. And after this game that I played against the cheater, they cheated non-stop. I mean, not non-stop. Of course, they lost a couple of games in between. But they just cheated so hard. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. Not a Sicilian d6. I think they're playing d6 because it's one of the top engine moves, apparently. If you let the engine think, I think it's gonna say like d6 eventually. Maybe at higher depths, because right now it's taking a while for it to think. Because at the phone, it's kind of hard to make the engine think. Anyway, d6, d4, takes, knight takes. This is the open Sicilian, and we have knight to f6. Knight c3, knight to c6. It's the classical Sicilian. The two knights Sicilian, if you will. Bishop to e3. It's better to not go for the classical. In my opinion, it's better to just go for like a Night Earth here, or for a Dragon, because they're a lot more easier to play. Or this bullshit, if you're into it. I mean, whatever. Knight to c6, or even before that, you can just not play the move d6 at all, and play the move e6, and I have an entire playlist dedicated on this, link on the description. Anyway, I'm not here to self-promote. Knight to g4. Cheater is just going wild. I mean, when the move g4 arrives at the board, you're like, what does it do? It threatens to take the bishop pair. That is indeed what I do in my games as well, but not in this case. I mean, it looks kind of ridiculous. h3 takes the bishop pair and argues that White's pawns are badly misplaced. It's a double isolated pawn, and also you have the bishop pair, so black has some sort of advantage. e6 to just have some central clamp, Count Sicilian style. Bishop to e2. Here I wouldn't hate the move a6 to just, create this Count Sicilian structure, kind of. Watch what the cheater does. Queen to h4 check. It's very rare for a king to move out of check, and when it does, it's kind of bad. So the king moves to the center. And you would think that the cheater proceeds to develop a piece or to take the knight, but although you would help White improve their structure. No, the cheater just goes all the way back. I don't understand why they did that. But apparently, if we let the engine think here, it might be third or fourth top engine move. I don't know. Honestly, do not know. Like here, yeah, there it is. Top engine move right there. And now king to c1 to try and go to the long side. And as you can clearly see, black wants an attack here. So we have the move bishop e7, a4, castles, knight takes, pawn takes, and rook b8, pointing the rook at the file. If I was black here, would probably just develop another piece or support the center. But fine, rook b8 also makes sense, so you could make the argument that the cheater makes moves that make sense. Now, in this position, opts for bishop to f6, not a bad move at all. You're pinning the thing to the thing. The king moves to the pin. Okay, now that's kind of bad. Fine. And now, immediately the cheater seizes advantage and control of the game with a minus 3.3.3 advantage. PP on the PP, if you will. And now the queen has to move and defend the thing, and also attacks the center pawn, but it's not really attacking the central pawn. Ignore that. The engine thinks that this, and if that happens, I mean, it's just bait. Just ignore that. It doesn't matter. We have the move bishop to a5, bishop to a6 for some unknown reason. If I was black, I would probably develop the bishop like here. I mean, probably not develop the bishop at all. Probably move this to go here, and then probably develop the bishop like right here, for example, and threaten this pawn capture. That's how a human thinks. In chess, not like a computer. Bishop a6, fine. And now we have c5. C5's entire purpose is to just put pressure on the second pin piece, which is the b3 pawn. I mean, White is just getting destroyed here. I mean, bishop takes, rook takes, and now we have the move c4. This is just a killer move, crossing move. The only move I think kind of prolongs the game is e5, probably, but we have rook to b3. Rook c8, supporting the pawn. g4 trying to start an attack, but it's a little too late because pawn takes. The knight is hit by 3 different pieces. Rook takes, thinking you defend everything. We have bishop takes check. Queen takes. Queen takes. And unfortunately, White lost the queen because the rook is pinned and White resigned. Folks, we have 2 more games. Yeah. For the next game, another Sicilian. You're going to see this Sicilian quite a lot in this video. We have an Alapin. If this guy wasn't cheating, I would have supported the person playing with the black pieces here. But because he's cheating, and saying that I supported cheater is probably kind of controversial. and kind of illegal and kind of stupid. I hate cheaters with all my being because they make me mad and I want to quit the site. Just kidding. Chess is an addiction I cannot get rid of. But the Alapin, I will say this time and time again, just kills the fun. But the cheater makes perfect content here. D5. This is the main line of the Alapin. D4. Early D4. Normally in this... did the engine crash? Yeah, the engine crashed. 1 second, guys. There we go. I restarted the thing. I refreshed the thing, so the engine... Alright, D4 is not the greatest move. So here, what people like to do is bring another piece to the party. That's how you play the position, really. And now black has a couple of response here. Knight of 6. Knight of 6 is one of them. And then they go for like knight here, sneak in to get this fork. It's just a beginner opening. I mean, just stop playing the Alapin. It's not worth it anymore. D4 or Letty. Knight to F6. You might say, hey, that's a free pawn. Well, not really, because if it takes, and then here, the pawn has to hang. The pawn is hanging, and then after this move, you got A5, Queen's Gambit style. If you take this, this is just horrible positionally. You're gonna lose both pawns here, and actually, I mean, rook takes is ridiculous here. You might as well start with this. And here, and you can even take this pawn if you want. I mean, the position is horrible for white. Knight of 3, and now we have bishop to G4, bishop to E2, E6, supporting a little bit of the center. Castles, Knight C6, takes, and takes. So black has a faster development, which is good. And now queen takes and knight takes. Okay, good. Solid position. H3 to ask the bishop a question. So far, white is doing an amazing job against the cheater. Knight to D2, F6. If I was black here, would just probably castle and just play an endgame and probably would end in a draw with perfect play. But F6, in order to go here, and after, white kicks the pieces around and actually makes a little bit of progress, I will have to say. Black is forced back a couple of times, and after this move, now black gets to play. E5 to take more central space. A3, the knight moves, and now we have, after this move, and the knight... Oh, I'm sorry, the knight doesn't move again. We just long castle. If I was black here, I mean, I would just move my knight. If we move the knight, actually, and there's this, which is kind of annoying. Or I would defend the knight, human moves, and if they, try to add more pressure to it, I wouldn't even castle, I would just go here, because we're in an endgame, basically. Long castle, so a huge imbalance in the position. Now white has to demonstrate opposite side castling attack. We have rook to E1 and G5. Oh boy. Cheater is going to turn on the engines. G4. One move throws away a little bit of advantage. I mean, G4 is a little committal, especially when the opponent has the bishop pair directly pointing at your face. The bishop goes here. And the first mistake has been made. Why is this a mistake? First of all, it's the bishop pair we're talking about, and in an open position where you're castled opposite sides and pieces that are currently pointing directly at your opponent's king, you should probably not trade off your most powerful attackers. Takes. And now, the best move is, of course, bishop to C3. It doesn't get played, and now we have the move H5. The whole point of H5 is to undermine the king side, because punishing you for playing the move G4 to try and, just take space and kick my bishop out. Yeah, that's the entire purpose of it. Rook to D1, and now it's -5. I mean, all it took was 3 moves to just lose to the engine. And we have rook takes, and fork. All it took was just 3 moves for the engine to crush you. And white resigned, because they're losing a piece here. And maybe they got suspicious or letting. Let's go to the final game. And for the final game, here we go. This is the final game they played before they got banned, eventually. E4. C5. F4. The McDonald attack. Now, again, I have a course. Not a course. Course are paid content. I have a video and a playlist on the Sicilian, especially on these bullshit variations. That's how I like to call them. Or not bullshit variations, just other variations. So go learn it. It's like a Grand Prix attack kind of, and you just play the con. Like, for example, it could show you what position you could get in a couple moves. You could get some like this, and then you just, yeah. So that's that. So go learn it. Links in the description. Anyway, d6. Knight to f3, knight to c6, and c3. Okay, Alapin style, d5. d6, d5. We were not happy with d6, so now we play. It brings me back to my point. Why did you not play d5 here? I mean, not the greatest approach, but why did you play d6 and then you decided to play d5? That's kind of weird. And in fact, that's the second top engine move. We have e5. Committal decision according to the engine for white. It's a perfectly fine move. Maybe you can support in the future with like d4 and takes, like in the future. Bishop to g4 pins the knight to the queen. Bishop to e2, perfectly natural move. e6, supporting the center. And of course playing in a Sicilian style. Castles and c4. Okay, so the whole point of the Sicilian is to leave the pawn there. That's the whole point. You just leave the pawn there. If white decides to do this, like here, you take this. You don't care. You take this and go to like some sort of open Sicilian transposition. You do not push the pawn. You want the entire point of the on c5 is to put a rook on the c file eventually, or maybe, and fight on the center. Why do you play c4? Like, why do you play c4? What's the point of c4? I'll tell you what the point of c4 is, to take space. But that's not the point of the Sicilian, you know? Anyway, knight to d4. This is a very good move. By human standpoints, you're taking a very good outpost square. But it's horrific because of bishop takes, queen takes, and the bishop pins the knight. And now there are problems. Because the knight is getting pinned, and it will probably have to get Okay. Now the best move here is, of course, king f8, but we play g6 instead. Okay, fine. Both moves make sense here, actually. And the knight is just getting destroyed here, and we hang a pawn with check. Kind of bad. And now white goes to the corner. h5. The computer immediately seizes the pawn advantage and goes for a same side attack. Queen goes all the way back. h4. This is a king's pawn, h-pawn infiltration. And now have queen to a4 check. King moves out of the way. The bishop moves also out of the way. h3 stops the advance, but now have knight to e7. And probably to f5, and it does go to f5. Takes, and takes to the g-pawn to open up the g-file and attack like this. And it's actually equal. Now it's no longer equal. A W move here for anyone playing is en passant, but the engines do not care about what you think and what you think about chess memes. They just care about the best move. And king to g8. What is king to g8? The whole point of king g8 is to put your king on... Wait, I thought the whole point of this was to do this and keep your king here. If you get checked, it doesn't matter, you just move aside. What was the point of king to g8? You were just blocking your rooks, right? Yeah, now the move is rook h6. This is just very scattered thinking here. It looks absurd of the play of the players. And if you also put into account that they play every single move in like 5 to 6 seconds, yeah, kind of sussy, isn't it? a4 takes space to the queen side. Why did you move your rook to h6 on the first place? Why are you moving rook c8 now? I don't get it. Anyway, rook to a3. Now rook to g6, like I told you, open g-file. But now your king looks stupid, right? You need to move it, and you don't move it. You'll just leave it there. En passant is the best move officially. Rook takes, now queen takes to get the queen out, fine, whatever. Now the rook sneaks into c4, completely abandoning the plan of, like, g6. It looks absurd. I mean, just... the ideas, there are like multiple ideas going on. It's just whatever. And look at this move. Sacrificing the bishop, because if they take it, you take this and win the queen. That's not absurd to find. Maybe you could find that in in the blitz game, maybe even a bullet game with time increment on. Now the bishop goes here, the bishop retreats, and rook retreats. All it took was a retreating move, and now black is attacking the pawn. But it's a little too late because now rooks attack the queen, sacrifices the pawn, because now we have the move. What? I'm sorry. Why not here? Oh, because it hangs the queen. But I'm sorry, why not also king g7? To, get out of the way, start an attack. Well, gentlemen, the move rook takes b4 is a silent sacrifice, because if you take the rook, you now can go here. That's what we call deflection. And now, white has to sacrifice the rook. Check. Here. But now, the cheater gets in. Wait, why not this? Throw in checkmate. Is it not good for you? Is it not good enough for you? Do you just not like checkmates? The ensign wants to be patient and bring another piece to the party. And now the queen goes here. But the queen alone will not be able to do damage. The ensign now sneaks and attacks the queen one more time. Rook check. And the king hides on h7. It's officially made a knight, and you have to start sacrificing material. And now the queen goes back. Check here. King moves out of the way. We put pressure on the queen piece, and you sacrifice the bishop, because if they take, well, they lose the bishop. And here white ran out of time. Or resigned. Absurd finds by this cheater on every single one of these games. And every move was played in like 5 to 6 seconds. So, yeah. And shortly after this, I think a couple hours after this, the cheater got banned. And one more cheater has been banned. Before I close off this video, I want to ask you something. To all of you who cheated on chess.com or on Lichess or on any other chess site, or even over the board, and you just cheat and you win a game, and you get banned, and you just get banned, or barred from playing on over the board tournaments. What did you accomplish? What did you accomplish as a cheater? On chess.com, when you get banned and you won like a couple of games and you've reached like 2,000, do you feel happy that you won with assistance? Do you just feel excited? Do you feel accomplished as a human being? Because let me tell you right now something. You're not. Folks, do not cheat. It's just not worth it. You will be caught, exposed, farmed for content either by me or Gotham Chess, and it will just not be a good time. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want more like this. I will try to get chess.com to match me with more cheaters. I'm joking. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Get out of here.